Big Meat really has no anything. What's going on? Independent said, how's it going? What does Big Meat have to do with investment? Big Meat didn't go to a financial advisor. Big Meat didn't do like the cartel and hide $80 million of money in life insurance or in any financial product. He didn't do like the movie, what's that movie? New Jack City. He didn't buy an apartment complex or a building to have something for the people, right? What did he do? He bought a bunch of foreign cars and when we talk about the money in the black community, why is it that we don't hold these people candidates, right? What's going on, B1? Why did we allow them to buy turkeys and backpacks? See, turkeys and backpacks in the really if we have these people in the community who are receiving government subsidies, like Section 8 food stamps. See, if I have food stamps, I can go buy my own turkey. For you, Mr. Drug Dealer, buying a turkey for your mother in the hood during Thanksgiving isn't really equivalent to anything. And you're not even taking advantage of it because you're not using it. Because just so you know, if you happen to be a street pharmacy specialist, the IRS will want you to file a tax. They're not going to tell the police what to do, but they want theirs. They're not going to bring the tax to you, but they want theirs. Don't ask me how I know, but I know. And so why is that this is the deal of InvestFast? Now I have a bunch of you here, and thank you for you who are here on TikTok. I'm also simultaneously live on my YouTube. I haven't been over on YouTube in quite some time. And I find it very important that I'll probably have more of this discussion over on my YouTube, but it doesn't get the quickness of engagement than it does here. And we actually share this by turn off that. And you can hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Go on, look, we can help you. I'm alright. Okay. Yeah, you know, this was about the lead generation, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot of what he said stood true. I did take the value. I'm just still I've always been leads because to his point, it really worked for me. It's just been like organic. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would definitely be something of interest. So I'm looking for consistency. Obviously consistency makes it a lot easier to scale. And that's where I'm at. As you know, it's see what you kill. And with that, I've been, I've been at a position where I do a lot of organic stuff. All the organic stuff is good. It's just not consistent enough. It's hard to remain consistent. Trying to get people consistent, or people consistently for that matter. So currently I'm independent, and that's another thing. I'm looking toward becoming an agent owner, and kind of doing that. And so, I don't know. I do look at the fact that these would be a great thing for, my I guess downline, my agents, my agents. No. I want consistency. Yeah. So that's the thing. I've been learned in the past. When it tens of thousands, there's nothing of it.
But before, he was spending about $1,000 per appointment, costing him about $75,000 a year, which is crazy.
Right. Maybe not like at this moment, but yes, in by the next commission cycle after. Monthly. Yeah. That's fair. appreciate that. Yeah, 'cause like I said, I definitely, I'm looking to scale. And like I said, most of what I do is organic. But it again, to the point, the inconsistency becomes a frustration. Um, and I like I said, I've invested, the $500,000 is definitely, I don't look at it as an expense. I look at it as an investment, but return. The last time I did on a whole system, $2,500 up front. I paid, nothing came of it. I started somewhere there, promised, people with 2,000 investable assets, and not saying that I didn't get potential clients for $1 million after I've gotten, one or two potential clients, but for a $7,500 investment, one, you're not going to close every person you come across. So to get one guy with $1 million is great, but I obviously didn't get one guy with $1 million that brought. Right. Right now, by the way, because I am, so at my firm, I'm currently basically there's CEO and there's myself. That's why I'm basically at I might as well start my own thing, liability, and get the bigger check. But I go for like if I introduce this product, is that something that you guys have to advertise, or is it like a per agent? So yeah, I mean, our agents, we're boutique. We've got like 50 agents, right? So we're not like this huge company that's running around. And then another difficulty we have is we're based out of New York. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the insurance industry, but New York has a lot of strings attached to it. And so that's thanks. All right, so even still, right? Because that there was someone trying to. So right now, both on my YouTube and here on TikTok, both on my YouTube, and basically what I'm talking about, what I was. As you know, I'm a Black man in America, right? So, I have this pro-Black mindset or stance or focus where, I definitely want to look at and try to help my community. I don't have a disdain or a distaste or anything for any other community, but my major focus is my community because, that's who I am and what I am, right? So from there, I'm looking at this Invest Fest. And on my YouTube, I have it entitled Invest Fest: Embarrassment, Enlightenment, or Encouragement, or Encouraging. Um, and the reason I ask that is because, I'm seeing now that a lot of content creators are speaking about Invest Fest, and they're calling it all sorts of scam and this, that, and the third now. Whilst quite some time ago, everybody was, InvestFest was everybody's favorite thing. And it was this amazing thing that no, I did not go to to InvestFest. But I see that they brought what is it? The kingpin or the guy who was arrested by the name of Big Meech to InvestFest. And I look at that and I'm like, well, now people are calling that, a negative or what have you. And I want people's opinions on what they think it is. Do you think it's a positive? Do you think it's a negative? Is it encouraging? Is it an embarrassment? Or is it an enlightenment? I think that, bringing Big Meech and then diminishing things like life insurance in our community, which we do all too often, which now we're seeing all these influencers who are talking about, the negatives of it. I think it's, in my opinion, it's encouragement to have people like us who are licensed financial professionals, who are actually in the industry, who are actually doing things to get some stuff done. Hannibal, what's going on? So I'm going to be interacting both ways. Hannibal, just so you know, I'm live over here on YouTube, but I'm also live on TikTok. And my man Secure the Bag Network just did something. I am so happy. Yo, so I got these brothers in my hometown of New Haven, Connecticut, who I run around everywhere and I exclaim that I'm their biggest haters and I hate on them every day. Right now, I actually don't hate on them. I support these brothers wholeheartedly. But I found that when you put negative out there for one reason or another, more people will interact. I got that evidenced by, on Facebook, a friend of mine. I asked him if he could help me promote, what I do as insurance. And as opposed to saying anything positive, Black Cougar, was going on. He reposted my post and he goes, "This nigga ain't shit." And hundreds of people were interacting with now me on social media versus now. And he did a test. He said, "All right, I'm gonna do it twice." The first time he was like, "Hey, check this guy out about life insurance." Maybe 15, 20 people clicked it. Soon as he goes, "This nigga ain't shit," everybody's clicking on it. Everybody's clicking on it to see how much of an ain't shit nigga I am. And it wasn't that I was an ain't shit nigga. It was that I had something to promote and the brother said something negative and everybody jumped on it. So in the same token, for my my brothers, I want to support them in that manner. Okay, yeah, I want to definitely chat with these brothers, Secure the Bag. So, because one of them was like, "Yo, why you saying you're a hater?" I was like, "Bro, because if I say that I'm positive in promoting y'all, everybody's gonna want to do the opposite and not be positive in promoting y'all." These brothers right here, listen, I want to see them on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We can actually do, and I know here in my hometown, New Haven, Connecticut, we have the Black Wall Street Festival coming up. I need to see those brothers there. They just went live yesterday where they were talking about a Black-owned bank. These are 4 brothers from my hometown, and especially in the Black community, we don't support enough, right? We'll really hate on them, but I ain't got no need to hate on them brothers. You know why? Because they're making my job easier. Why are they making my job easier? Because not everybody is going to be everybody's cup of tea. There are people right now who are watching me here on YouTube. There are people right now who are watching me here on TikTok. Let me start inviting folks up on TikTok. I want everybody on TikTok to come up, and we're going to try and double this conversation. Over on YouTube, I want to share the screen with y'all. And I need y'all to see the InvestFest flyer. Secure the bag. What's going on? Yeah, man. I was letting them know I gotta hate on y'all, bro. I gotta show nothing but hate because y'all out here doing it, and I'm jealous because I'm not out here doing it. No, salute to these brothers. If you haven't, make sure you go follow Secure the Bag podcast. Mike Evans Benton, Jason Benton, Secure the Bag. Can you put you guys' information in my YouTube channel? Let me give you guys a wrench as moderators. Let me give them a wrench as moderators. Let me see. Yo, what's good, Brody?
What's good, baby?
Chilling, how you? I am
I got some problems in Fairhaven, sir.
what you got in Fairhaven?
Some problems. Some fucking dumpsters with some fucking Mexicans out there, bro.
I can't really talk about that right now. I'm on live stream.
Alright, when can you come back?
It's probably gonna be a minute. Come be live for about an hour or so.
Later on.
Yeah, well, give me a little bit. I'll call you later. Come on. So, anyway, I'm not doing that right now. I'm trying to do some positive stuff. Let's bring this screen. So here, InvestFest and Secure the Bag. Please, definitely, I'd like you guys' opinion as well. Do we think that InvestFest was an embarrassment, an enlightenment, or encouragement? And ladies and gentlemen on TikTok, please feel welcome to come up as well. I need you guys' input and thoughts and opinions. So here on InvestFest, it says their lineup and their schedule. So they were at the World Congress Center in Atlanta, which they normally are. On Friday, they had featured the rapper T.I., Jermaine Dupri, and then they had the mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. They had Jagged Edge, Kenny Burns, and someone named Big Bang. Let's see what we have here as we check their Instagram. Continue with Facebook. Let's go ahead. Continue as Alonzo. Let's go ahead. And you know what? With StreamYard. What's going on, Kay? How you doing today, brother? Let me change the screen here. Remove, share screen, entire screen, boom, save. All right. So do we see that as what is it? Oh, you know what? They're not gonna let me log on. Screw it. I'm not logging on my computer. So let's look at the future. Let's look at everything. My issue is they had the rapper Big Meech at InvestFest 2026, right? Let's look at their lineup. So their lineup, they had Serena Williams, Steve Harvey, Nick Cannon, Jaleesa Seymour, Milan Harris, Troy Millings, Rashad Bilal, Ian Dunlap, Carl Michael, 19 Keys, John Morgan, founder of Morgan & Morgan. I have a buddy who owns a company called fastdial.com who rents the phone numbers to Morgan & Morgan. I am also connected with members of the board of directors of the OCC, which is the Options Clearing Corporation, right? And listen, I live a LinkedIn level lifestyle. So if you go to LinkedIn, right, let's check my LinkedIn out, right? Because just like a lot of people are talking about, check your LinkedIn app. Why has this got me locked out of everything? Sign in as Alonzo Hall. Okay, so here we go. Let me see. Am I sharing my LinkedIn? Yes, I'm sharing my LinkedIn on TikTok or on YouTube, right? Now, if we look at my network, I want you guys to see here. So I'm still trying to get friends with Solomon Hicks. Oh, accept. Yes, I'm going to accept Solomon. Solomon Hicks is a big guy. You guys don't know who Sol Hicks is, right? Let me guys show you. I know Davette, Miss Jones. I'm sure you're familiar with who Solomon Hicks is. And let me start sending some invites on TikTok because we can have the conversation. Let me send Phyllis, Heavy Hitter, Vaster, Davette. folks, y'all feel welcome. Saul Hicks is a perennial $1 million roundtable producer, black man in the insurance industry. He's a global guy. He's been around for quite some time. This is a guy who we need to talk to through InvestFest. Now, just so you guys know, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. With InvestFest, there's actually a young lady who's on my team. Her name is Lindsay Smith, the agent. And Lindsay Smith, who actually is with my agency, you'll see her online all the time, actually teaching people as insurance agents how to go do their thing. Because again, she is with my broker dealer, or sorry, my broker general agency. And she's been to InvestFest. And hey, Constantina, how are you? And so I look at InvestFest as encouragement. Now, are there some things that can be corrected? Yes. For example, if we're going to look at Big Meech, instead of just Big Meech, right? Because let's look at, where is it? InvestFest lineup. They had Big Meech there. Hold on. I want to see. Joey Badass, the rapper. Jim Jones, the rapper. Right? Big Bank, a culture curator. They had Chris Sane, right? A scam artist, right? Hitmaker, who is actually an investor now, not just a rapper. But they also had Big Meech, Ace Metaphor. They had Carlton Dennis, who is a CPA. But unfortunately, what ends up happening is we all often seem to push this get rich quick stuff. And getting wealthy is not a quick thing. It's a long-term strategy, right? So I'm trying to see Lindsay Smith right here. So just so you guys see, hold on. Oh, shoot. Let me show you guys on TikTok. How do I turn this camera around? Here we go. So Lindsay Smith, the agent, she again is with my firm. She was actually part of InvestFest. But like I said, they had the guy Big Meech, partners. So they had Cash App, Queen of the Tax Code, iShares, Investco, BET, Equity Now, Charles Schwab. Now, if we're going to be bliggity black, instead of Charles Schwab, why don't they have Ariel Investments? Even though Schwab is partnered with Ariel Investments, Sway the Pro, Revolt, State Farm, Wealth Academy, Thomas Financial, Black Box Franchising, Zaddy, New History, right? Apps built with AI. So you actually have an opportunity to partner with them as well, right? So, you know, again, I think it's, let's see, FAQs. Let's see what vendors they had. So this was the vendor thing. I'm not going to buy a vendor booth. FAQs, all right? Now, all of that is often when I go to these black networking events, they tend to just be almost limited to an event where we're just kind of selling our products and, you know, they get diminished. So maybe, you know, there's something that we can do to change that or to change that thought process. Let's see. Kay says, rapper, he's a drug dealer. Yes. Give me 1 second. What's going on, good brother?
Okay, so Jahan is back. I'm going to do his game plan interview. You know, he's going to give me a shot around 12:30, so it's presumably around then. You know, that would be a great opportunity for the three of us. I can put you guys together. I put him in under your mother, so I think now she has 3 legs. I forgot whatever she had before, but she has 1 more leg before. So.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm doing a live stream right now. I'm on TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, no worries. Send it, and we'll pick up from there. All right. Okay, where was I? So yes, no, he is a drug dealer, not a rapper. The guy Big Meech. She says I sent this link to my sis to join, and she went. Like I said, a lot of people were upset with the most recent one. So they had the lady. Give me 1 second here. Oh, that's And so a lot of people, like, they had Kendra G doing a singles lounge, right? Where it's, hey, where you can find your rich man. You're not going to Invest Fest as a wealthy person unless you're like a keynote speaker or something. They're restricting my access now, probably because I'm talking about regulated goods and services such as insurance. Let me invite my cousin up here. He's definitely willing or able to speak to that as well. So what are your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, on Invest Fest, right? So what's going on, Cynical? How are you? I haven't been over on YouTube in a while. So I figured since I'm going live on TikTok, I do a simultaneous stream on YouTube. So I'm having multiple conversations at once. So, you know, I want to see what you guys' thought or opinion is on, and let me make sure, Secure the Bag, if you're still here, can you type something in the chat? I want to make sure that you got a wrench and that you're a moderator over here. Now, folks who know me on TikTok are not as familiar with me on TikTok as they are with me on YouTube. On YouTube, you guys know I curse, smoke, spit, and listen to gangster rap. I'm unorthodox. Judah, how are you? You're still coming in. As soon as you come in, I'll definitely speak with you over on the TikTok app. So guys, you can feel welcome to cross platforms, TikTok or YouTube, and we'll be having similar conversations. So while my guest is coming up, my panelist is coming up on TikTok, here on YouTube, we're looking at the fact that Big Meech was a drug dealer, not a rapper. And we had Big Meech. And let's look at this, because again, I talk about it all the time. Colombian cocaine cartel life insurance, right? So the money laundering scheme, traffickers, it says Colombia. Let's not look at what they're saying in a Google ad, right? Because the first thing you see is the New York Times, new hiding place for drug profits, insurance policies. Meanwhile, when I tell dudes in the hood about life insurance, it's lost. All I have to say is Black people need to stop looking for celebrities to make them rich or for anything in life. Absolutely. I don't think that's limited to Black people, but since that's the focus of this topic, absolutely. I think Black Americans have a savior complex or a leadership complex where we are looking for someone to be our messiah or our leader, as opposed to taking the bull by the horns. Are there some of us who take the bull by the horns? Yes. There's people like myself who take the bull by the horns, and I go out in my community here in New Haven, and you know, like I said, if my guys Secure the Bag podcast are here, and I tell them, yeah, you know, here downtown New Haven, 9th Square, in the parking garage that I pay $75 a month for, my car got broken into over the weekend, and they stole my dash cam, they stole my electric car jumper, and they stole my portable speaker. I thought I was safe paying $75 a month for covered parking in a luxury apartment complex that, yes, I left the door unlocked. So they didn't break a window or anything. They just opened the door and went and stole the stuff out of my car. But I thought I paid $75 a month to be in covered parking with 24-hour surveillance, that I shouldn't have to experience that. But why did it happen? I know why it happened, because people who knew me are jealous. Man, he drives a Mercedes Benz, this, that, and the third. And so often we end up our own worst enemy. Now, again, I'm going to add to the stage here and show you guys, again, new hiding place for drug profits, insurance policies, right? But let's not go to the first Google portion of it, right? Moscow Times, cartels use life insurance to launder drug money. U.S. indicts 5 in the scam to launder drug money. Right? FinCEN, financial crimes, right? U.S. Department of State.gov. See, folks, when I send you guys to a website, skip to main content, right? I don't go to BS sites. I go to .gov, right? So when you go to .gov, that's .government. Why is their website bugging here? Don't know why their website is bugging. But this is the Department of State .gov, U.S. Department of State .gov, right? So then when I speak to you about things like tax shelters, right? And the reason I'm talking about this is because everybody talks about investing as if it's something that's simple to do. And that's something that everybody, we talk about this accumulation phase. And it's great to accumulate, but you won't buy a house to not live in or to not rent out, right? You wouldn't buy a house to just say I have a house, but that's what a lot of this traditional financial and investing advice is that it's always people you know. Ain't it the truth? Always people you know, right? And I'm one of the most givingest people. Trust me, I be in positions where I don't have it because I work on commission. Shout out to my man Gerard Gibson from the Secure the Bag podcast. He said something wonderful last night. Normally we say we eat what we kill. He said, I eat what I hunt. He's a real estate agent. He's a realtor, real estate broker. He has his own team. And I'll tell you what, I'm almost getting bitten by the real estate bug. And he's with Coldwell Banker, which is a company I like. If I were to go back into real estate here in New Haven, there's two people that I would affiliate with. Gerard Gibson and King Darius Bay. And why? Because number one, I know these gentlemen. I grew up with these gentlemen. We come from the same stuff. Darius will tell you. King Darius Bay will tell you. I done sold it all from New Haven, Connecticut. Things I can tell you about and things I can't tell you about. And the things he can't tell you about, he's removed himself from that. He's like, listen, I make way more money and I can do whatever I want to do with whoever I want to do, how I want to do it, and when I want to do it. When I do things legitimately. So guys, what do you think? Do you think InvestFest was an embarrassment, an enlightenment, or an encouragement? Please tap the screen and on YouTube, hit the like as you enter. Please interact. Ask me questions. Tell me no lies. Tell me I suck. I don't care. We got to get this message out here. So now if I share this, remember, I only go to .gov sites. So when I tell you life insurance, because most people will say, I only get out of life insurance, what I get out of it. Let's go to finance.senate.gov. United States Senate Committee on Finance. So they're talking about life insurance. The new Wyden bill would close private placement life insurance tax shelter abused by the ultra wealthy or the ultra rich. So when we're going to InvestFest and we're looking at, their lineup, right? And we got, everybody, invest. It sounds nice to invest, but you have to have the actual liquid capital to do the investment. I'm day trading. Hold on, where is it? Chris saying. Now he's talking about deeper than sports. He generally is talking about day trading, right? When you're doing day trading, you need to have a certain amount of money. So let's just look at what Senator Ron Wyden says. Senate Finance Committee ranking member Ron Wyden will introduce legislation today to close a tax loophole abused by the ultra-rich to shelter tens of billions of dollars in income from taxes with private placement life insurance. PPLI policies are designed to mimic hedge funds, but life insurance ain't an investment. It's not. It actually is not an investment. Ladies and gentlemen, life insurance is not an investment. Does it have characteristics that can outperform investments? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I got messed up because I saw that Saul Hicks accepted my friend request on LinkedIn. I haven't been on LinkedIn in a while. Let me follow this person, by the way. Let me just show you again my network, right? like I said, money guy wants to be my friend. Okay. Lisa Snow, yes. Uh, Principal and recruiter. I don't do recruiters. So let's look at my connections. Actually, let's just do it like this. So, as you see, right here, derivatives, managing director, board member, right, of the OCC. What is the OCC, right? So if we look at this gentleman, because again, he's a member of the board of directors of the OCC, the Options Clearing Corporation. And if I told you conversations he and I had about life insurance, again, this is a real life connection I had. And I'm going to show this to you guys on TikTok too. Hold on. Camera. No, I'm going to turn the camera around. No. Let me quick invite Anthony Glenn. All right. I just made a mistake and hit some kind of button. But here you go. This is an actual person. This gentleman was my next door neighbor in Brooklyn, New York. Right? Brooklyn, New York. Derivatives, managing director, board member, OCC. I work with Fortune 500 companies to manage interest rate and FX risks. Specialties, interest rate derivatives, foreign exchange derivatives, credit derivatives, structured products. Right? He's with Jefferies Capital. Right? So, OCC member, board of directors. Head of corporate interest rate and some foreign exchange hedging solutions, head of CVA desk. From September 2014 to the present. Right? From December 2022 to the present, he's been a member of the board of directors of the Options Clearing Corporation. So when I get online and I hear these bullshit people talking this bullshit about investing, let's look at what the OCC is. Let's click OCC. For those who don't know what the OCC is, I'm going to follow the OCC. I didn't even know I didn't follow them on TikTok, on LinkedIn. Options Clearing Corporation. Let's see what he says here. InvestFest is good for vendors. I don't know about some of the speakers. They had Kendra G, so it was entertaining. Yeah, I think it is good for vendors. If you're going to sell a product, I think InvestFest is great. But to go get knowledge or to go learn anything, I don't think it's your best option. And so TikTok, you guys are seeing my little setup here that I have for my YouTube channel with my mic and all of that, because I did YouTube way before I did TikTok. And YouTube is where I prefer. I found that people are more serious over here on YouTube. So now we see OCC. Let's do this. What is the Options Clearing Corporation? Let's go to Google. The Options Clearing Corporation, or the OCC, is the largest the world's largest equity derivatives clearing organization. Founded in 1973 and based in Chicago, it acts as both the issuer and guarantor for all U.S. exchange listed options and futures contracts, serving as the buyer to every seller and the seller to every buyer. So when you bring me Chris Sane or someone talking about, I do Forex, that's like somebody saying that they are a world-class physical trainer and they know about the best supplements to take. Meanwhile, you're friends with the people who help Tom Brady eat avocado ice cream, or the people who LeBron James pays a minimum of $1 million to keep his body in physical condition. And they're telling you, yeah, just eat spinach every day. Eat spinach every day and you'll be big and strong like LeBron James. That's what it sounds like when I hear these people, especially these Primericans, who are like, do you have your investment license? Sir, you don't have your investment license. You have a Series 6. And now you're getting the 65 at Primerica. FYI, the 65 is not even a FINRA license. The 65 is an NASAA license. And it's an advisor license, not a producer license. So it allows you to get paid off of investment advice. And technically, you can do assets under management. But you can't sell any securities with a 65. You can't sell individual securities with a 6. The Series 7 is the only investment license. Then people will say, I have my FINRA license. There are 17 FINRA licenses. You ain't got to take my word for it. Let's go to good old Google, right? And let's type, how many FINRA licenses are there? How many FINRA licenses are there? And it'll tell you 17. Oh, geez, 32 qualifying exams. So more than I thought. So you have FINRA representative levels, 6, SIE, 6, 7, 22, 57, 79, which is when somebody's like, I'm an investment banker. I do mergers and acquisitions. Do you have your Series 79? I see so many people up here who are like, yeah, I do M&A. I do M&A. I'm an investment banker. And then I ask them if they have their Series 79, and they go, duh? Because they don't know what a 79 is. And we're gonna go through that here on YouTube. We're gonna look at what the 79 is. Because even a lot of people with these licenses don't know dick. How do I know? Because again, I was having a conversation with Joseph. Let's see. This is not Brian. Okay, so he sent me a wrong message. Schwab Advisor Services. The shared RIA path gives you control without showing the call. Oh, now Charles Schwab is trying to get me to join their RIA platform. So just so you know, when you know what you're doing and you do what you're doing, you're going to get recruited. Right? So here's my LinkedIn. That's me, Lonzo Hall. Schwab Advisors. See, hey, the shared RIA path gives you control without shouldering the cost of ownership. Beyond Capital, Equity Partners can be a resource for tech solutions, recruiting, compliance, and business strategies. So I will download the white paper. 0 to 12 million. Boom, boom. All right, submit. All right. So I can download the white paper. Download now. So we're going to get the white paper from them. Just because I actually like Charles Schwab. Options Industry Conference, Options Industry Council. We're going to go there. Who's messaged me here? Yes, of course you can post our conversations. What is this? Someone's trying to sell me on buying leads. Not right now. Let's see. I'm not gonna waste your time. I sell to you. No thanks. Billy. All right. Yes, sir. Get back on LinkedIn. Anyway, let me stop networking on LinkedIn. I'm supposed to be doing social media content right now. And so again, you know, what's going on, Financial Comedian? I'm talking about InvestFest. Come on up, brother. Come on up. Hold on, let me bring you up here. Are you familiar with InvestFest? What it is, what it's about, its existence, et cetera, et cetera? Why is it not letting you up? High Value Man, what's going on? You can feel welcome to come up as well. Let me send you an invite. You were there. Oh, absolutely come up. I need your thoughts or opinions. Because a lot of people were saying it's scammy, this, that, and the third. And whilst I understand some of the things that people have the apprehension on. And I have a young lady who was there as well, Lindsay Smith, the agent. She wasn't at this one, but she was at one of them. Winslow, what the hell is going on, man? How you been? You there? Hold on. Oh, shit. I had my volume off. What's going on? High value? Except. Are y'all saying stuff? Because I can't hear y'all. I don't know. Maybe it's my phone. Well, while I get this taken care of, I'm going to continue with the YouTube. If you guys are speaking and I'm not responding, it's because I'm not hearing you. So if I am not hearing you, type in the chat now. I might have to restart the live. I guess I might have to restart the live. This sucks. Lux, what's up, brother? Okay, yeah, let me restart the live over here on you know what? Let me see if let me actually hold on. Instead of doing a total restart, let me see if I can just switch devices. Go live. Let me see if I switch devices. If it'll work that way. All right, try and say something, brother. I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Let me.
I hear you as well. What's up, man?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Let me. I'm doing a dual stream, so I'm here on TikTok as well as YouTube. Yeah. So Lux, I am talking about the connection that I have with Mr. Lewis, where we had the conversation, and I was like, I only wish that I could have recorded our phone conversation with someone from the freaking OCC about what we were talking about life insurance. And it was insane, the conversation that we had. But high valued, how are you, brother? What
Great, man.
So you were at this most recent Invest Fest?
Yes, sir.
So give me a little rundown. What because I'm getting mixed signals. So I'm hearing a lot of people, oh, it was a scam, it was this, it was that, it was bad, we shouldn't, it was just scamming black people, and all this, that, and the third. And my issue is that I then look at people like yourself, like Solomon Hicks, like Anthony, like myself, and I look at the fact that we weren't like, oh, we're out there trying to do it, and it ain't like we've got the support of a vast amount of our own people. Right?
Everybody can afford to know. Second of all, there's a big debate, man, about the support of Invest Fest this year, and the mayor of Atlanta not supporting it, and all of his circle and everything like that. I think I think what's going on from that is like bad media is taking that particular scenario and running with it. And the reason I say that, man, is because 2026 Invest Fest was like none other. You can just feel the energy in the room, man, from everybody. And it was just such a positive impact and such a positive feeling to be there. My booth was 1434. All right. I had a small 10 by 10 booth over there somewhere in the corner. But when I tell you, there were people coming to every booth. I mean, of course, celebrities couldn't get to all of the booths there, but the experience of just seeing so many black people in just a large amount of diversity, man, and as far as business goes, it was unreal, man. Of course, I had the best technology set up there, and a lot of people didn't get a chance to see what I had to offer because I come unannounced. But a billionaire came to my booth. I got invited to True Crime Podcast. As a matter of fact, I've been invited to 6 podcasts, and yeah, man, it was for me and the people that I was around and the people that I saw. It was nothing but smiles and enjoyment and connections, man.
Okay, so then let me ask you this, because on my YouTube, obviously, there's not enough character space on TikTok, but my question is InvestFest, embarrassment, enlightenment, or encouragement. Which one of those 3 would you say that InvestFest was? From what I'm hearing, it sounds like it's encouragement.
Encouragement, well, enlightenment for me.
Okay.
But for most people, it could be encouragement because if you look at the amount of people in the booth setups were like some CES type shit. InvestFest is becoming a big CES, man.
Okay.
Now I've heard some bad news, Zoe, about the previous InvestFest and things like that, but I don't think a lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about this one.
Gotcha. So one of the negative things that I heard was apparently Kendra G, the social media personality, was there, and she had, I guess, like a singles room or what have you, and it was, ladies, come to find your rich man. And there was actually a lady who, and what prompted me to do this was multifold. I was on TikTok and someone was talking about going live, and I get a lot of people who ask me to continue to go live because when I talk about life insurance, I talk about it in a way that I did a live 14 days straight, and every day was a different thing pertaining to life insurance. And they were like, wow, number one, I'm going to need you to start all over again. Number 2, where's your PayPal so we can pay for the course? Because this is coursework, because I got homework. I was giving people homework and stuff. And this lady, and she's a white lady, right? I don't gatekeep. I don't keep it from nobody. Yes, I'm pro-black, but I like everybody's money. Right? So, yeah, I don't care if you're white, black, Puerto Rican, or Asian, orange, whatever. You got money, I want it. Right? And she was like, I feel like you're giving a course. She said, but you gave me homework. And then she said, and the homework that you gave me, unlike a lot of other places, I felt that what you're giving us homework to do is to literally fact check you. She said, and I haven't found that with anybody else. She said, you gave us homework to be like, give us something to fact check what you're saying. Just a variation. He says the Asian came here just as you said Asian. See, I was calling for you, brother. Grace, what's happening?
Nothing much. I felt like I was in regurgitation land. Yeah, I just like it, you know how nuanced it is to say that, to regurgitate tone policing and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But then I fluctuate my tone just to prove a point, and then watch how they adapt by using passive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but then you're talking about tone policing. It's not. Tone does matter in a relationship. It does matter in communication. It's part of communication.
It absolutely is.
What are we talking about? And it's not. And it's like, oh, well, you tone policing. One, if a man has a deep voice and he speaks the way he speaks, and if you're triggered by that, then calm down. Respectfully, calm down,
mm-hmm.
because you can't be around men, right? That's just what it is. But if that man shows the capability of being at a low volume, speaking respectfully, not sarcastically, that means that his communication changes when he is speaking to you.
Agreed.
If you tell him, yo, I'm not talking to you because you don't have any respect, or and he says, oh, that's just my voice, or I'm just joking, how a lot of people do on TikTok, you have a right to say, yo, I'm not dealing with that. I'm gonna bow gracefully. I'm gonna go about my business, right?
Right.
But people call it tone policing. That's boundaries. And we use certain buzzwords, so it's to deflect on what is really happening. And this is why when they're like, oh, do TikTok lives and do this, I'm like, no, my capacity is not there for it.
I got that. I understand that.
It's referring to Kendra G.
No. So she was on another panel. He was having a women's panel. And he was asking, women, what are their superpower? And Grace, I actually, your response was, even in our interaction, I've said those things because men value that, and in relationships, and I don't even mean in romantic relationships and platonic relationships. That what did you call it? Fluency?
Yeah.
That is super valued to a man who is about something. And that is another major difficulty, is running into circumstances where men aren't really about something. And we have to recognize that is an actual fact, that there are a lot of men who aren't about anything. And
I'd be so confused because I listen so attentively, and when it does not make sense and it's almost like a contradiction between the line that you said previously to the following line that you just spoke, it's like sometimes I get off this internet thinking like, am I dumb? Am I slow? Did my concussion really affect my thought process? Because what is happening?
That's the internet. Hold on, I gotta go hide this can because I just drank one of my white root beers, and because I ran through all my sodas. We drink the sugar-free soda, but I went into her stash and stole one of hers. So let me just hide that.
You need to leave out the apartment and go get her some new ones.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
The worst feeling, like, my kids, what did they leave in the refrigerator or something? And it was like one or two like pieces of chocolate, I think, because my little vice is chocolate covered nuts, right? So I'll be sitting here, eating peanuts or cashews or whatever. I'm just like, I'm old like that. I like prunes. I like all of that stuff. I like dates.
I love some dates and some salted sunflower seeds.
Yeah, like some sunflower seeds, whatever. But I think they left like 2 chocolate covered almonds or something in the refrigerator. I forgot what it was exactly. And I was like, really? Y'all just couldn't tell me? And they're like, well, they just looked at me like I didn't do it. And so all 3 of them, I raised them to be very, very close. They're like, oh, I didn't do it.
That's funny.
And I'm like,
Zoe.
Yes.
I was actually one of Kendra G's first guests on her show.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now, okay. You're talking about on her YouTube.
Her YouTube, yeah, she was doing Facebook Live in the beginning.
Okay. So can I tell you something? So I was a guest on Kevin Samuel's show.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And I wear it as a badge, or wore it at the time as a badge. At the time, when I called into his show, The episode is still in the interwebs somewhere. It's the name of the episode. The title is "Men, Are You Ready for Your High Value Wife?" And I explained to him. I said, "Well, from what you're talking about of what constitutes a high value man, I am all of that." I said I encompass all of that outside of the financial because I had made $10,000 a month for 3 years straight. And he said, "Well, then what are you doing on my phone? You're high value homeless. Click. Get the fuck off my phone." And and I wore that as a badge because that to me said, look, the cover to get into the club is $50. You got $49.95. You can't come in. When you get that other nickel, holla at me. And so many men were like, huh, how dare you? You don't need to listen to him telling you your value. And I was like, listen, it's not, that wasn't a negative. That was a positive to say, all right, you're on the right direction, but you can't come into the club until you meet the requirements to come into the club. Get your weight up, partner. That's the way I took it.
And don't let your ego get in the way.
Yeah. That's the way I took it, as get your weight up.
So yeah, it was a big thing, and there's a big thing going on right now about Kendra G, the Kendra G show. Mm-hmm. And that's you were going to ask a question about that.
Yes. So the question I had about that in regards to, what as a person who is in that, those income brackets, what was your thoughts, opinions, and feelings on that? Like, how, because there was a lady who was a doctor who I saw on Instagram, and she was the lady who asked her, "Is this rage bait?" Because she was like, every lady that went up there was like, "I need a man to make $250,000 or more. I need a man to make $1 million or more." And she was like, I already got it. I need a man that I can build with, and this, that, and the third. And I guess Kendra G kind of put her in her place, air quotes, because she was like, well, first of all, go ahead.
I saw that.
So yeah, that's what prompted me to do this, because I was like, are we doing InvestFest for dating now? Is this like how to date a rich guy? Or so, having not been there, but knowing people who have been there, like I said, Lindsay Smith, the agent, was the insurance agent that was there. But the thing that ticked me off was them having big meech, and our people not knowing that life insurance is a tax shelter. When you have senate.finance.gov trying to tax life insurance, and yet our people diminish life insurance, we go after things that unfortunately we may not be able to really benefit from. Most Americans are retail investors and will never actually be able to invest in SpaceX because you have to be an accredited investor to even buy in an IPO or a speculative risky investment like that. Now you might buy a package, but we don't even understand that. But how did you feel about the whole Kendra G dating thing?
It was a show, man. What I felt about it was a show. She had a booth there. A lot of different, game shows were there.
Okay.
Talk shows were there. And of course, people are going to have different ways of...
YouTube, the link is in the chat if you want to come up.
What the panelists are saying and everything like that. So yeah, you was right. A lady in the crowd just burst out and was like, "Is this a rage bait?" Because I guess she thought that it changed her frequency about what she thought about InvestFest. But you gotta understand, Kendra G show. Mm-hmm. She did her show at InvestFest live.
Oh.
And she got a chance to respond to the audience live. So of course, like when somebody yell out, like they're on the internet, and say, "Is this rage bait?" She's going to interact with them and straighten them out. So either way it goes, I didn't agree with what her panelists were saying about she don't need a man that make less money than her and everything like that. And that's why the girl yelled out, "Is this rage bait?" Because her panelist actually was against dating guys that were on a lower tax bracket than her.
Okay. Grace, let me ask from a woman's perspective. What are you familiar with what the whole? Well, we kind of just explained it. So, what do you think about the whole Kendra G thing? at InvestFest?
I'm gonna kind of plead the fifth on personal feelings
Okay.
because her co-host is somebody that I truly respect. And so I don't want to say anything that will offend him. However, I would ask what was the intention of having a dating show at InvestFest. I don't understand what InvestFest is. So you would have to break that down to me as to what's the purpose of it. And then, you know, why it was extended to the dating shows.
So InvestFest is normally, give me 1 second, I have a guest coming up on my YouTube panel as well. Mr. Davidson, how are you? I am doing a dual stream between TikTok and YouTube. Feel welcome to speak right now. Let me just finish speaking on the Tickety Talk streets. And I know we'll have some fun over on the Tickety Talk streets trolling folks together. So InvestFest is, it was something that was created by Earn Your Leisure. And initially, you know, you had, what is it, Ian Dunlop and the other guy, and they were, you know, bringing buzzword financial literacy to the Black community with a little bit of, ironically enough, I was in a meeting with a young lady who has a brand called America's Hot Sauce. And I thought it was Heart Source, and because the gentleman who introduced me to it is Caribbean. So when he was saying America's Hot Sauce, I thought he was saying America's Heart Source. And I was like, wait. And then she was like, yeah, we're America's Hot Sauce. I was like, wait, she's really saying hot sauce. But, you know, it's similar to that. And it's just bringing financial literacy to the Black community with our form of hot sauce on it, if you will.
So our little twist, our little spice to it.
Yeah. So they're bringing, you know, the rappers and, you know, the social media influencers. My issue with a lot of the social media influencers, like they have like Chris Sane and people like that, who all these people are talking things like Forex. And like I said, one of my next door neighbors is a managing partner at Jeffries Capital, and he's a member of the board of directors of the OCC. So when I hear certain stuff about investments and stuff, I'm like, first of all, I cut my teeth on Wall Street, right? So I know more than the average bear just because Wall Street. And then, you know, the people that I'm connected to, and I've had someone in my actual life be like, bro, did you really just like casually drop the names that you dropped? And so, you know, we look at that, and it's I guess, yeah, it's learning about investing with our little twist, financial literacy. You get a lot of vendors. Just like the Black Wall Street event that's coming up. What is it, Saturday?
Yeah.
On the green.
It's the same vendors all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see, like, okay, you know what? I'm probably going to get doxxed for this, but I'm going to say it out loud. I'm exhausted with our culture always incorporating like a fun time with stuff. Like you go to a restaurant, you have the loud music. I can't even talk to the person I came with, right? And my time is so precious that I want to catch up with the people that I'm sitting across instead of just numbing myself with the music and like there's twerking. I don't want to look at twerking when I'm eating.
Right.
I'm not going to a strip club, right? I don't want to go to Black Wall Street and always look for a turn-up time. Like, you know, this is a time where I should be learning. One, yes, learn the new businesses as well, but don't make it a favoritism thing and make it, you like, bring new vendors, new businesses, things of that nature. And if they have a barrier of joining, then lessen that barrier for first year individuals, right? Mm-hmm. But what's the call to action after that year? And I find like we are so redundant with things instead of building a foundation upon it that it really does not do us any good. It can be wiped out.
I think so. Well, you know, I live in Ninth Square, right? I'll self-dox. I don't care because my information's out there because of the business I'm in. So it's public information anyway, public knowledge. Look me up. You'll find my name, address, and date of birth everywhere. But I think that, so living in Ninth Square, when I look at a lot of the, you know, the Black Wall Street, etc., like you said, it's the vendors. So to me, I live on Ninth Square. We have this thing called the night market. So, you know, they shut down the whole Orange Street area, the whole Ninth Square area, and they have vendors out here. So for me to walk up the block to the Green to just be able to go buy something when I can literally just walk out of my front door and literally buy it anyway, it doesn't lend itself to anything other than a larger form of a night market. I genuinely never see people actually network or make connections or build or merge or grow. I just see somebody who comes and they sell their Jamaican food, or they come and, you know, they sell their this, or they come, you know, and so go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but you just hit the nail on the head. We do not know how to coexist.
Mm-hmm.
Like somehow McDonald's and Burger King and Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks learn how to exist on the same street,
mm-hmm.
right? But we have a problem spreading the love. First of all, if they actually, like, if you think about the movie, and it's funny, it was an AI rendition to it. You know how I do my like little short movies and things on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
They started to talk about the coalition, the Farmers Coalition, or it's not a coalition, it was a collective that they started where the equity was then like spread out to the farmers, just not the person who was making the product. And I think it was cheese. So they started to go to the dairy farmers and say, hey, I need more ounces of milk to make this more cheese so I can hit this deal. And so instead of capitalizing off of it, she made a collective with the farmers so they can have a stake. But it also stabilized her pricing to purchase the milk from them as well. So everybody was getting a piece of the pie, but from the revenue, they were also getting paid as stakeholders, right? And so if we as the Black collective correctly create a business that talk to like butchers and things of that nature, where they can drop a pod like Thursday of each month, where we can dish out like our food instead of going to, what is that called? I can see it now. Where do people go to get their food? Restaurant Depot.
Yeah.
Instead of going to Restaurant Depot, we're going straight into that, going straight to the source to receive the meat and receive the goods and things of that nature, and then come back to increasing our profit margins. We don't have to pay $50 for oxtails anymore.
I would love that. I love me some oxtails. 1 second. Mr. Davidson on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
How are you? What are your thoughts? I wanna see if I can have us.
Yeah, and oxtails, make it at home. Best way to do it. Cut out the middleman. You get those about $8-9 a pound at your favorite local grocer. I love HEB, Central Market. You can make it yourself, but I'm not going to. I have a professional at home. Foodie at heart. So the investment thing, back to what you said about proximity and who's in the room. Yeah, so that was a powerful conversation for 2 reasons. Number one, the relationships that you have, they actually matter. And that conversation, what was it, 3 months before we actually got on the call with the guy?
Yeah, it was about 3 months.
About 3 months.
Texting back and forth, calling.
And here's the importance of that. When you, so at the level that we're operating, because you can't just, when you're in the chamber and people come to you with things, The number one thing that I have to do is vet you, period. I don't care what license, what credential. You could be attorney, a CFA, a CFP, a CEW, I don't, elemental PQ, whatever. We have to check it out. It took 3 months, and it was 3 months worth it. That one conversation cemented several things. Number one, my initial hunch, if you want to call it, was right.
Yeah.
And two, it showed we were on the right track. 100%. And those are the kind of conversations that matter.
Now, the thing is, do you think that, so with the both parties that were involved outside of you and I, right? Let's look at the pitch deck and the person who received it. Do you think either one of those parties would be at an Invest Fest? Because I do think one of those parties would be at Invest Fest.
Are you saying the one who? That's a good question. I'm going to say probably at least one of them, yes.
Oh, I guarantee you one of them would have been at Invest Fest. And I think we know which one that would have been.
Right. And here's the thing. They don't know what we know. And because you don't know, you have all that at risk.
Right.
And it's not real. Like, that's the crazy part about it.
Right.
Everybody can't pick up the phone and call the board of the OCC. You get what I'm saying?
Bro, here's the thing. You slapped me in the face with that because you was like, brother, you can't just be having these kind of connections. I'm gonna need you to be flying in helicopters with the connections you got, bro. You should not be ever needing for money because the connections you got are money. And
straight up.
Did not realize sometimes when you're in the situation, you don't realize what you have. So it takes somebody on the outside looking in. So let me just kind of update TikTok and gracefully on what we had going on. So again, the gentleman that I showed you from my LinkedIn, who's a member of the board of directors of the OCC, which is in charge of FINRA transactions, right? Buying and selling and buying, and all of that goes through the OCC. He is a managing partner with Jeffries Capital and a member of the board of directors with the Options Clearing Corporation, right? Now, I don't do securities myself, but the conversation that the three of us had around life insurance, when you're talking to somebody at that level, and we were talking about something called PPLI, which is private placement life insurance, which is 3,000 people in the country who own a PPLI policy, and it accounts for $40 billion in tax shelter. And he was like, well, if you want to make a killing, why don't you just go sell PPLI to the regular person? And I realized, wow, he's at a level where he doesn't recognize the regular person anymore, but he does. And the reason I know that is because he was my next door neighbor in Brooklyn. We used to sit outside on the stoop together and just shoot the breeze. Now, he did come to me years ago and he was like, yo, when you save up $3 million, give me a call and we'll start a hedge fund. As if saving up $3 million is just some easy feat. But when you're looking at the numbers that we're looking at, right? He was like, listen, nobody who's writing a check for $1 billion is going to ask you for a check for $10 million. I'm not believing what you just sent me because I sent him something for that. And he looks at $1 billion transactions on a daily basis, right? Or excuse me, hundreds of billions of dollars of transactions on a daily basis.
Yep.
And so it's like, for me to know that I know somebody on that level is unreal. Like I can literally pick up my phone and call this guy and ask how his wife and son are doing. Like I was there when his son was born. He's also part of the reason I'm a Mercedes-Benz fan, because he bought his wife a GLK, and the GLK was the baby G-Wagon. Great car, by the way. But so we had gotten a pitch deck for an investment, and they were asking for a certain amount of millions. And so myself and Mr. Davidson, who is the president of America's Chamber for Business, the Island branch, I'm also a member of America's Chamber for Business. We're a global network. I'll likely look at joining the chamber here. I actually need to go back to, Grace, do you remember a couple of years back when a guy by the name of Tom Goldenberg was running for mayor against Elliker?
Yeah.
So I got accused of running for office at that point, which was funny. What ended up happening was he was having a dinner at Jack's, and he was running on the Republican ticket. Now, I'm a registered independent, but I lean towards Republican because of the field I work in. And but the way I look at politics is, what are you going to do for me? And that's what ended up happening with Tom Goldenberg. And so then I got a call about 2 weeks later from the owner of Jack's. And I asked him how he found me. He said he Googled insurance near me. I was like, I promise you I'm not the first person to come up. Nasheen, what's going on, brother? And so there it translated. We ended up not transacting, but it was a potential $5 million deal on, well, $5 million worth of life insurance that he was looking to get, as well as some other things. I also ended up finding out the other restaurants downtown New Haven that the guy owns. I know about his import-export business, and I know about his partner with Jack's. And so what bothered me was, again, right here on Orange Street, 57 Orange Street, my address is 66, but 57 Orange Street, which is now a chiropractor, used to be a barbershop owned by my cousin called the All-Star Lineup. And the thing that bothered me is we're at InvestFest, like you said, the fun stuff, but the boring stuff we weren't at. Do you know how many people who look like me, Grace, were at Jack's Steakhouse at Tom Goldenberg's dinner?
Oh, I know. Like, because I hold a certain position or whatever, and I'm a part of the DTC or whatever. I show up. Matter of fact, there was just a release for the governor because, we're creating a new train station or whatever to bring more commutes, more apartments, things of that nature. And we're really making changes in my town. And so I was there and maybe one other Black person, and maybe including Hispanic Latinos, four people of color altogether. Right. And when I go into things for like certain corporate initiatives, I'm probably, if not the only, one of less than 5. We're not where we are supposed to be. We are where it is most popular. And that is the unfortunate part. I can't really state the reasoning behind having a dating show at InvestFest. So I can't speak on that because I don't know if they were looking at like cross marketing of their businesses to increase their audience. So I want to say it's called audience crossover. I don't know if they were looking for brand exposure, which increases dollars and sponsorships. I'm not quite sure where their thought process was. But going back to the point that I was making about eating at a restaurant, but having to deal with the loud music and the twerking and things of that nature, we have to stop creating this duality of everything has to be fun. Can we just focus?
I think that's hyper important. And I think why Kendra G was there, because social media is now, the revolution will not be televised. It'll be live streamed. And I think what is ending up happening is, if we look at specifically the Black community, but if we just look at social media in general, the winningest topic right now tends to be this mating, dating, and relationship. I know a bunch of white guys, and I went early on in 2023 when I came on to TikTok. I used to asked white men, how do you feel about being public enemy number one? Because it's everything is a heterosexual white man's fault. And if I was a white American man, I'd be mad at the world too, because I'm like, geez, oh, I'm fat, it's a straight white man's fault. I'm lazy, it's a straight white man's fault. I can't read, it's a straight white man's fault. When do we start taking our own ownership and being like, well, I'm fat because I don't go to the gym. I'm lazy because I'm lazy. Like when do we, you know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely correct. And I want to say I was talking to Donovan Gaspard, and we were talking about, he asked me about my weight loss journey, right? Because I had the picture there where it showed the before and after. And I said, I had to sit down with myself. I could have blamed the car accident. I could have blamed, so many things that happened that contributed to my weight gain. And why I had to, even go on this transformation journey. But when I really boiled down to it, you can become injured. But if your muscles and your body is not conditioned, now you're fighting getting conditioned while you're healing. And I had to come to the realization that I would say I was a disciplined person. But when I looked at my workout regimen, there was none. I was using workout as a treatment. That's one. And then two, I was not disciplined in working out because there was no regimen. So there was no consistency. So therefore was no conditioning. Yeah. And I had to turn around and say, I have to change that. It was my mentality that truly made it worse.
Gotcha. Definitely understand that. Jeffrey.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
First of all, how's your health?
Good. I'm better. You back in business? Back in business.
All right. So I need to take a cue from you and get on my shit and get my health right. But we're not going to talk about that. We're this about you right now. That's how we deflect, right? But now that I put it out there, I know you're going to be like, hey, yeah, you talk about me. Now, what about you? So that's that kind of support, asking for support without asking for support, right? Just putting it out there, being like, all right, well, but this. So right now I'm dual streaming on YouTube and TikTok, and I have a guest on YouTube as well. Say hi, Billy. All right, he might be moving at the moment. So,
hi, Billy.
There he is. And so my title on YouTube, we don't have the character space on TikTok, was Invest Fest, Embarrassment, Enlightenment, or Encouragement. And I'm hearing, different stories. One of the main things that I had two issues with was they brought Big Meech to Invest Fest. And Big Meech is not an example of anything. He went to jail. So when BMF got indicted, they had $240 million. Yeah. Right? But mind you, this is a national organization, and there were hundreds of members in each state. So $240 million isn't a lot of money when you break that down over, 10,000 guys. Whereas the Colombian cocaine cartel, 5 guys got indicted for hiding $80 million of coke money and life insurance. 5 guys. 1 guy got indicted for moving 13 tons, which is 26,000 kilos per week. So to Gracefully's point, well, we're talking about the entertainment. Do you think that El Chapo was entertained by money laundering, or do you think he actually did it and tried to be quiet about it? Right?
Yeah.
And so there's that, and then they had Kendra G at Invest Fest. So I take that I take encouragement from Invest Fest, and the fact that I take encouragement whenever I hear a Primerican. I'm like, listen, go get the license, do no business with them, and then leave. Moxie, what's up? Right? And then you can come and get into real financial services. And now I don't care if you even if you leave Primerica and you still only believe in selling term insurance, cool, but at least have the ability to offer the gamut of products and study the gamut of products and turn around and like I did a video this morning because I'm in a situation where I have a client that I have to give bad news to, and I really don't want to. Right? This client's policy lapsed last year, or I'm sorry, a little over a year ago. We filled out the paperwork to reinstate the policy. He paid the additional premium to catch his cash value back up. Then I get a call 2 days ago. He's like, what's going on? So I've been going back and forth with customer service for the past 2 days because they're like, well, we haven't received a payment in a year, so his policy is going to lapse again. And I'm like, you guys were supposed to be auto drafting his policy, and now they're telling me that they never got the authorization to auto draft his policy. And he's like, yeah, I gave them permission to auto draft my policy. I'm like, I could have sworn so, but now I got to find the document that he signed that we have that. And so, you know, I'm combing through my emails, and this is a year's worth of emails, so it's not like it's going to be, you know, easy to find. And I'm pissed because this man has a wife and children, and we set something up. So now he's going to have a burn in his mouth. And you know who is not going to be against? The insurance company. You know who that's going to look bad upon? Me.
Yeah.
Right?
I had Forrest to do that to me.
Yeah, but now somebody can turn around, see, you should have bought term insurance. And I can't argue because I'm like, well, shit. Maybe they would have auto drafted his payment.
Sometimes companies mess up. Forrester did it to me on 11 policies.
Yeah.
I went to her house and did 11 policies. Got a call, got cussed out by my client. I was like, hold on. Let's call them and figure it out what's going on. Ended up calling them, and they say they forgot the auto draft. And she went off on them. Next thing we know, we went from talking to somebody at Forrester to talking to somebody in England. And that case got handled real fast, and they gave her 6 months of free insurance, and it was brutal. It was scary. Like 11 chargebacks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm beyond the chargeback, but I like to keep my renewals. But still, I don't forget that I promised this man something. I promised this man's wife something. I promised this man's kids something. See, people don't take seriously life insurance like that. I'll put it to you like this, right? Even like, let's get down to the worst portions of society, right? Gangbanging. When I was out there gangbanging, right? You see that's a G, that's a D, right? But it really says Connecticut. And ironically enough, if you go to Bridgeport, Connecticut, they think this is a P.T. Barnum Outlaws, but I had this before they had this. So this was for a G and a D. Growth and development, gangster disciples, pitchforks, right? Sevenfold till it blow. But if you look at that, we take that absolute serious. On the set, cuz, what blood, right? We take that super serious. But we can't take our career that serious. Like I said, made a promise to this man, to this man's wife, to this man's children, that I would put you at a financial institution that would do the right thing for you, and that what we discussed about your plans, this policy is going to execute that. Now I look like a liar. And that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because I have no recourse against the company. And their documents say opposite to what I said. Now, when me and the client are like, yeah, we gave you authorization to auto draft, the client's not going to be like, yeah, I told y'all to automatically take $725 a month out of my bank account. Like, nobody's just going to be like, yeah, I told y'all to do it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, you know what I mean? Like, what do we do at this point? But anyway, that's not what this is about. So, are you familiar about the most recent Invest Fest?
I am. I'm not. I like it. I haven't been to one yet. I'll probably go next year. I'll make it a goal to go.
What do you want to gain from it?
Network.
Okay. And so this is where and are you familiar with Anton Daniels from YouTube?
Yes.
You know how he feels about networking events?
Yes.
Okay.
Anton don't like nothing.
Well, no, because he has networking events. Like I joined the Bag Chasers. I paid the $150 to be part of his Discord.
For Patreon.
Yeah, I did that. I actually went. He had a pitch deck where you could pitch your business. He didn't invest. I was just going to open an insurance company. And I was like, bro, this is the most it was Farmers Insurance. They send you their business plan so you can go get, hey, Pia, so you can go get funding. I was like, now I find it strange that you won't give me just 30 grand to open an insurance company by the name of Farmers, because I was going to sell car insurance in New Haven. But as an investor, he was like, I really don't know enough about insurance to invest. So I was like, okay, I can understand that. Right. And it's business. It's not personal. So I didn't take it personally. Right. I mean, obviously, damn it, but at the same time, I'm not hurting.
Is this Farmers and Mechanics?
No. That's the life side. This is Farmers on the PNC side. We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Got it. Okay.
In the Northeast, they don't do life insurance or securities. In Connecticut and New York. And I was going to base myself out of Connecticut, but also operate in New York because I'm licensed in New York. And, New York, we could just slap it on the table because New York is the highest regulated state. Thank you for the gifts. And so the reason I was going to do that, I have a young lady who used to be a part of my team who she always used to look at me side eye and be like, sir, she used to always ask me, why don't I have my Series 7? Because she was like, bro, I've had this license for a number of years. And the way you talk, this stuff. Like what, you should just go get the license because this stuff more than me. And I actually do this for a living. And I talk to money managers, right, out here in Shelton, Connecticut. And the money managers, when I tell them that I'm an insurance only guy, they're like, the fuck? What do you mean you're insurance only? No, you talk like us. You talk like a money manager. You're not just insurance. I've had so many money managers tell me that I'm not just an insurance guy because I talk like a money manager. Are you familiar with David Lerner and Associates?
No.
Okay. So I was going to work with them. They do here in Connecticut, they go to the Norwalk Boat Show. They're old money kind of guys, but they're a fairly new firm, maybe 60, 70 years old. And they're small. I have an uncle who has a $600 million book of business, white guy. When I first got into business, he was like, Alonzo, I'm a white guy for money who knows people and I'm connected. And this business was hard for me. You're a black kid from the hood who didn't go to college and don't got no money and don't know nobody. Good luck, click. And at first I took that as, that's racist. How can you do it? 15 years later, I'm like, oh no, that's the business.
Yeah.
He was not telling me anything. If that had nothing to do with race, that had to do with the fact that 90% of the people who get into just life insurance are out of it by the second year.
Yeah.
So I look at that and I'm like, oh, okay. And that experience this morning made me realize why a lot of people are like, fuck it, I'm just going to sell a term policy. Right? And then invest the rest. Because if you lose money with an investment, well, you knew the risk you took. But you're not supposed to lose money with insurance. But now I have to turn around and tell my client he's lost X amount of years worth of money. Yeah. Because they didn't auto pay. But he and I signed the paperwork. Say it again, Grace.
Did you find the document that he signed?
I haven't found it yet, but I've got a lot of email. I've got over 150,000 unread emails, let alone the ones that I sent back and forth between me and the company from every client.
I had a question behind the scenes for you, so I'll just hit you up there about my follow-up question regarding that.
No worries. And I know he won't sue me because legally, technically, there's nothing that I did that would have him have a leg to stand on in suing me. But I have been sued before. I got sued for $1 million. She won $410,000, or 41% of the case. So I'm still, I deal with that. But, that leads me back to InvestFest and the fact that we get fed this fun time shit. And I don't know that there was a purpose of Kendra G being there, except for, like I said, if, right, there's 5 people here now. But if I was talking and said, you're very, very much a person who points this out on your own panels, when I'm talking about, hey, if I'm talking about the D and the P, there would be 1,000 people in here. There'd be 900,000 likes. But because I'm talking about finance, there's 6 people, right? And what I get resounding, what I used to get, which is why I left YouTube for a while, people used to always be like, yeah, you know, Alonzo, this stuff is boring. And then I had one guy who, and Billy, you're familiar with, because we're working on a deal with him. He said, yeah, they say that shit's boring until it's time to get them checks. Now they want to be all up on you. I had a situation in my actual life. 2019, I moved back from New York. I moved to East Haven, Connecticut, rented a house, didn't buy the house, whatever. I had my family over for Thanksgiving. I wanted to talk to them about life insurance. They said, oh, we know all we need to know about life insurance. The person who said that last year, their parent died. They had 4 life insurance policies that they didn't purchase from me. But who do you think they came to ask for help in getting those life insurance proceeds? I said, you're looking at me. Now, you know who sold them the policy? My aunt, who is a fucking horrible agent because she doesn't know shit. And she sold them Lincoln Heritage. Right? And I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I don't need her getting in legal trouble. But it was not all the way above board the way she sold the policies to the family. And I don't know if because of her age, they decided to listen to her, their closeness and proximity of relationship. But I'd been doing this for substantially longer than she. And this was all I do, right? Like, with it being all commission, yeah, I've been in it 15 years, but right now I don't have a consistent stream of clients. So I may even consider doing something like, I like to run into people and have a reason to get out of the house. So I'm like, if I could just go to McDonald's and be the guy who cleans the toilet, I'll do that just to be able to get out the house and get, you know, interact with people. Because most of my interaction with people is social media because I'm self-employed and I'm just here. Sir, Money Moves, how the hell are you? Please come up. I'd like your opinion on InvestFest. Let me see if I can send that invite. Sir, Money Moves. And what's going on, brother? But yes, and Said has been one who's been a loud proponent of, yo, when Zoe goes live and he's talking finance, I don't see especially a bunch of the black men over there, right? I wanted to hold this live and we were talking about, I was actually on a live. D was there with me. And you can feel welcome to come up as well. And D, I had posed the question, do you think that by the 6th date, it's a good idea to go to a financial advisor? And I'm going to show you guys why I said that. And while I'm doing that, I'm still going through my emails. Let me see if, Grant, that's right. I got to do Grant Cardone. What is it? Fact Finder. Let's see this. Budget bar. Right. So here's why I said it's a good idea to. I'll shoot you an invite, brother, if you want to come on up. To go to a financial advisor. Now, I got cussed out 6 ways from Sunday by both men and women saying, well, you know, if we're just dating, I don't think it's a good idea to go to a financial advisor. I don't want to expose my finances. But you ain't got to put me on your pension, right? Or nothing like that. But here's what I recommended. You go to a financial advisor, right? There's a budget guard. So you're going to go over your fixed expenses, your variable expenses, right? So if you'll notice here, since we're always talking about dating, what does this line here say? Either one of you, please read that for me. I'll enlarge it if you need me to.
Dining out.
Dining out, entertainment. Would you say entertainment and dining out has to do with dating?
Yeah.
So now these guys are, why would I make a budget just for dating? And then we wonder why black folk are fucking broke.
I know a guy that got a spreadsheet on how many. This is embarrassing, but it ain't embarrassing for me because I didn't do it. He quantifies every single date he goes on. Like he puts all the information together, and he has a certain amount of budget that he puts towards a dating position. If the desired outcome has not been reached by a certain amount of date and or money spent on that dating situation, he leaves it.
I mean, come on, bro. It's literally right here. But you know what D said to me gracefully? He said, well, you got to realize that, Zoe, people are fighting against it because the commas that aren't there, not the commas that are. And I was like, oh, that goes back to like Jay-Z when he was like, yeah, guy on the street, well, what you looking at? Oh, you think I see you. I realized in my own personal life, people don't come to me because they don't want to be this vulnerable, because they think there's going to be some judgment. And most people don't even know that you're going to get to this.
You know, the funny thing about it, Donovan and I were speaking yesterday, and I respect him, you know, for his build. And I'm very, not secretive, but I'm very confidential on the work that I do. You know, you guys will know what I do in part, but not in totality. And we were talking about money, and I was like, you know, my mindset was not poor, but you know, I had to even do some resetting of my mindset. And I had to talk to my aunt for 3 hours about it because I realized I'm almost at retirement age. And my aunt was able to retire for 20 plus years, have 2 properties that she occupies, one by the water in New Jersey and one in Manhattan. And she has a doorman and everything. And yes, she's married and things of that nature. But, you know, I started to think, like, I see everybody retiring around me and they still have to get a job. I do not want to retire and still have to work. If I choose to, that's fine, but I do not want to have to. And so I said, what do I need to do now? So I picked up the phone and I said, you know what, Auntie, I need to understand this because this is my current situation. This is how I had to reset, and this is what I'm doing now. And when I got to after like speaking with her and redoing my budget, I learned that I can actually live off of $55,000 a year. That means theoretically that other amount of money that I'm making can technically be saved. Why? Because I don't need to go on vacation every year, every 3 months. I don't need to go to a spa every other week. I don't need to have $1,000 hairdo. I don't need to have the blinged out nails that cost $600, right? I need to stay focused. And she even got to a point of, what is my son going to school for? What is he enrolled in college for? Because if it's not profitable, if there's no ROI, then he does not need to go to college. He needs to have a certificate in something and then go into the workforce. And then I said, well, he wants to go abroad and it costs, although his tuition is already paid for, the visa requirements requires him to have $5,000 in his account, right? And she said, well, if you don't have X amount of savings, then although you would like him to have the experience, it's not a necessity. And just that point of what is truly necessity, not the experience that you want to give him, shaped my mindset. So now when my friends are like, oh, you going out this and a third, what does it include? Where do I need to be? How many people need to be there? And things of that nature. And it's not that I don't have the money. I'm being very frugal because life is going to happen. And I want to make sure that I still live comfortably when I retire.
Also,
or in the case that I got sick. Because not everybody can go from having a car accident, right? Having 3 kids at home and a business. I had 2 businesses at the time, and be able to survive the way I did. Mm-hmm. Still maintain my house, still maintain my kids, right? Mm-hmm. So what if life happens again? Can I go? Because it was at a point that I had a nurse's aide coming in. Mm. I had a walker. So what if life happens again? Do I have the money saved up to sustain X amount of years for my recovery? Absolutely. And now, you know, I'm going to throw insurance in there. And this is something that, and Jeffrey, I'm going to throw a shame on you as well with this, because we do a terrible job of this. And I don't mean specifically just you and I mean us in the insurance field. We sell life insurance and we push life insurance, but that's not the most important insurance a person should have. Because we're always like, oh, what if something happens and you die? Well, 9 times out of 10, something's going to happen and you're not going to die. What'd you say, Jeff?
Critical care.
Disability.
Disability, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm getting health license this year.
Oh, you're not health licensed. Okay.
I'm not health licensed. I'm about to be, though. I'm about to be.
So, yeah, all you can sell is life insurance right now. But that goes to the 5 questions, and I'm going to list those 5 questions that I tell people to ask when you're sitting across from a financial professional. We'll go into that and those answers shortly. So the most important to have is paycheck insurance, which is disability, right? The only clients, I have 2 clients in the state of Connecticut. Literally, that's it. Everywhere, all my other clients, the rest of my book of business is outside of my resident state. But disability insurance is super important. But I also think we have to, like at InvestFest, again, there's an agent who's with my firm, Lindsay Smith. And whilst it's great to talk about life insurance and the things that I can do, there needs to be, and this is why, Grace, I'm looking at doing something at the Concat, and I sent that email that you recommended. I'm going to even continue to do that. And even without being paid from it, I realize that just going there, people are going to just come in and be like, if it's 100 people there, 10 people will come and buy something just because, you know what, I thought about it. And, you know, little JoJo just got shot on Gulf Street last week. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get this. So even if I don't get paid in that manner, I'll get paid from the fact that I'm giving back to my community and somebody will come in. I want to be able to actually also fill this industry with some new blood and give my knowledge to those who are from, you know, that community. Because that, ironically enough, that's the community I grew up in. Like I said, the Monterey, that was my family's club, right? And now it's a housing project. The Sarah J. Finney, which is St. Luke's apartment housing. Sarah J. Finney, that was my Aunt Fina. She left money to St. Luke's Church for their steel band and all this. And yet my family, you wouldn't know that any of us, my own family doesn't know that any of us were these highfalutin people. I actually brought my wife's best friend. We walked around New Haven and she was like, geez, your family runs this city. And I was like, yeah, we used to. But unfortunately, to your point, Grace, or to the point I was making, is that there's not enough education of how to use these resources. So, for example, I heard you mention like the $5,000 of liquidity or that would be needed for your son's situation. So I'm going to give you a real life example. My mother has a life insurance policy with State Farm. So 2019, when I first moved back here, I worked at a State Farm agent as her life insurance specialist, great agent by the name of Wanda Carlson. D, what's going on? And Wanda, I was talking about you, D, so you got to come up and defend yourself because I was talking mad cash shit about you. So now you got to come up here, son, and defend yourself. I wasn't talking shit. He knows I wasn't talking shit about him because Grace would have been like, oh, I'm going to go get him. Say it to his face, son. Say it to his face. Because I'm like, yo, we say it once, repeat it twice. Yeah, say it again. You can say it. You can say it behind his back. Say it to his face. But no, I was talking about you, D. But only in the aspect that
when we were talking about the going to see the financial advisor after the 6th date, and you were like, remember that resistance isn't telling you about the commas that are there. That resistance is telling you about the commas that aren't there. And I had to sit back and look at that and realize that there's an education barrier, because people in high positions, like I said, the guy with the OCC was like, just go sell PPLI to the average person. I can't. The average person cannot grasp putting $1,000 a month into a life insurance policy, let alone 100,000. Right? But those are the type of clients that I like to work with. But I like to work with the kid who lives at 36 Orchard Place on the housing. I used to live at 36 Orchard Place, or the kid who lives on Orchard Street or Gulf Street or in the Ville or in the middle of the hill by where Kevin's Seafood is, or what have you, wherever it may be, because the reality is that those are the people that need this stuff the most. And unfortunately, they are going after the stuff that they can't really get into, which is stuff like InvestFest, right? We don't know what to so let me give you the real life example of resourcefulness. So my mother bought this life insurance policy from State Farm. She's not my client. She's Wanda Carlson's client. She pays maybe $200 a month into the life insurance policy. When she bought the policy, she was, I want to say 52. She's 58 now. And yes, I am 42. My mama was a teenage mother. Last year, our cousin had her 75th birthday party, but it was a girls' trip, and it was a destination birthday party in Jamaica. My mom was like, damn, I want to go, but I'm not trying to max out my credit cards, and I don't have it in my savings. I said, well, Ma, you have the money. She said, what do you mean? I said, you have life insurance. She said, yeah, but that's for you. I said, no. Number one, I'm a grown man, and yes, I appreciate it, but life insurance is literally that, to be used whilst you're alive. Let's call State Farm. So we call State Farm. Hey, Wanda, what's up? Listen, can you tell my mother the cash value? Now, yes, over the number of years, you'd be like, well, she only has $6,000 paying $200 a month from 2019 to 2025. Yes, but she also has a death benefit, and she can access that money at any point. So instead of going into the bank and trying to get a $5,000 personal loan and having to show proof of ability to pay back the loan, she called Wanda, said, Wanda, how much cash value do I have in my life policy? $6,000. Okay, I want to borrow $5,000. It was a Wednesday when we called her. Wanda said, well, it's late in the day, so I doubt you'll make it here by 4 o'clock, so you can't get the money today. And I'm not going to be in the office Thursday. But do you know Friday we drove to Milford, and my mother got a check of $5,000 in her hand, borrowed $5,000 from her life insurance policy. Now, that $5,000 that she borrowed would mean that the remaining balance of cash value in her life insurance policy would be $1,000, correct? Normal thinking.
Have you met Jamaica Jeffries?
I don't think so.
You know, I gotta introduce you to her, because she does like a mini InvestFest in New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay.
And she has it at the Omni, and you know, she has not the after party, but the networking at the it's like the rooftop of the hotel. And she talks about this because, you know, she shows us that you can make the money and you can still be in these predominantly Black neighborhoods and make a difference. She also ran for mayor. She did lose by here, but these are the things that we need to see. And you're absolutely right. Like, don't go to my area, right? Even though there is a need here, but where you are needed is on Orchard, right? On Fifth, like in those areas, the Ville, the Hill, like, you know, the Trey, where these kids, these young adults that are not getting this education. I'm very transparent with my kids about, oh, Mom, can we do this? No. If you want to take your money that you earn and buy out and not cook the